Hi, my name is Anna Pilo, and I believe in magic. I believe in the magic of you. I believe in the magic in you. And what I'm here today to do is to help you find your own magic through your intuition. First of all, your intuition never lies to you. It is our connection to the universe, divine, creator, God. That's where your intuition comes from. In his book, Warrior of the Light, Paul Coelho states that your intuition is the language of God. It is how he speaks to us. So really pay attention. And you know this for yourself. When you go against your intuition, when you don't follow that gut feeling, you know what happens. So learn to really, truly trust yourself by using your intuition and following it. Again, it will never lie to you. There are many ways of developing your intuition. The most common one we hear about is meditation. Now, I don't know about you, but me to sit here and doesn't happen. I am far too squirrel, chipmunk, groundhog. Oh my goodness, what's there next? Who's that driving by my place? Part of meditation is to quiet the calm, the hamster wheel, the squirrels in our head. And that's not easy because that's not the way we've been trained since we were children. We're constantly stimulated. We're constantly looking for something to do. We're on our phones. We're on our computers. We're on these. Gone are the good old days where your parents told you to. My dad used to offer a nickel to whichever one of us kids could find a 4-leaf clover. And that is such an amazing way of being meditative. And we would always try because it was really impossible to find a 4-leaf clover. But we would try cheating. We would take 2 clovers, put them together, and take off 2 leaves. Look, Dad, we found a 4-leaf clover. The magic of just being able to be out there and doing what you want and what you need and connecting with yourself. That's the important part of intuition. So for me, I find alternative ways of trusting my intuition, learning how to connect with it. Walking in nature is one of the most wonderful ways of connecting to your intuition, especially if you can find a spot where you can do it in bare feet. You know, a walk on the beach, a walk through the forest, any place where you are alone with your thoughts. And by thoughts, I want to clarify, not the thoughts of, did I turn off the oven? You know, Johnny has to be at hockey for this time. Susie needs to go here. Those thoughts are the hamster wheels. I'm talking about those thoughts that come from deep within us when we're truly connected. So you will find nature is one of the most wonderful ways of connecting, and everybody can easily get to nature. Even if you live in a city, in an apartment, get off the couch, put your shoes on, go for a walk, find a nature trail, and really connect. And of course, connecting with the intuition requires solo walks. So it's a great way to really learn to listen to your intuition. There are so many other ways of doing so. You can draw. Actually, my friend Chloe Plasma taught an art class and I wasn't going to go because all I can do are stick people, and even at that, they're not great. And she said, nope, you come anyway. And we just got into giggling and chatting, and we created the to-doodle list. So instead of writing out the words that go for the things that I need to do, I draw stick figures, and then I have to remember how to interpret them. So it gets really a lot of fun, but it's really quite a way of just opening up yourself to other possibilities. We don't have to stay to the school rules we learned when we were in kindergarten. We want to expand beyond that. And dreaming. Sometimes you can record your dreams. If you remember your dreams, record them, like write them down, or just if you can remember forever, that's fantastic. But if not, just record your dreams. They will have some wonderful insights into your intuition. And just your daydreams. Now, your daydreams need to be big. I believe it was Brendan Burchard. He has a statement where he says, if your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. And that is also another wonderful way of connecting with your intuition. What I'm here today to talk about, though, is tuition through the tarot cards. So first of all, the history of tarot starts, nobody knows for sure. The earliest recording of what they would consider playing cards or tarot cards, divination cards, are from the 15th century. No one can pinpoint the very first tarot card, let's put it that way. And that in itself is a little bit magical. However, today, the Rider-Waite seems to be the standard in tarot cards. Although there is a standard from the Rider-Waite deck, you have Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. I am going to start with the Major Arcana. So the Major Arcana, major secrets, are all based on the same concept. The art and the imagery will be up to the individual author/artist. Sometimes one person does both, and sometimes it's a combination of two. But the Major Arcana follows the same pattern. They start with the Fool, and they go all the way through to a total of 22 cards to end in the World. So the Fool is at the beginning of a journey, and the Fool also means going with innocence. Don't go into things with a preconceived idea. You're going to start your journey into magic and into yourself. Then there are various cards through the Major Arcana. There's Lovers and the Hierophant and the Magician, the Priestess, the Priest, Sun, the Moon, the Tower, the Devil, and Death. Now, Death itself, the card itself, does not mean that you are going to die or someone close to you is going to die. It means the death of a situation or a thought, anything. It means it's time to transition into your next best self. Let go of the stuff that no longer serves you, and that's what dies. Now, the Devil, that one is one of my favorite cards. The Devil represents temptation. It represents you yourself. And you've seen the animated cartoon where there's a devil and an angel on each side, and they're both speaking and they both want their own things. It's up to you to decide. The devil sounds like a lot more fun, but the angel usually steers you towards good choices, good magic. However, my favorite devil really was an amazing good influence. Lucifer, the TV series with Tom Ellis and Laura Graham, I believe is her name, Lauren Graham, is my favorite devil in the world. He is charming and fun, but he really does teach us that the devil is you. The temptation, the things that we do that are not good are our own thoughts. In his shows, he asks people what they truly want, and he helps them get it. So, making a deal with the devil is usually because you don't know how to go about getting the magic you want, and you rely on the devil to help you achieve things that are not always good for you. So, as well as the devil and the death, there's the Tower, which talks about foundation. If you don't put a foundation under your dreams, your tower will come tumbling down on you. That's a rough interpretation of the thing, but why I want to talk about the Major Arcana is that I don't want to give you the interpretation for the cards. What I want you to do is to admire the artwork and figure out for yourself what your intuition tells you about that card. And I'm going to encourage you to go out and purchase your own set of tarot cards. And with that in mind, you can check out the local Indigo store. They have a variety of decks, or you can try to find a metaphysical store that carries that kind of thing. You might not find them in your smaller towns, but Guelph has a delightful one, and they're all over the place. And they will have so many different cards. I was driving through Bancroft and had heard about a metaphysical store there and stopped in, and she has a variety of 1,000 decks of cards. So you can imagine how long it took to decide which one I was bringing home with me, which is another way to use your intuition. When you're out there shopping for your deck of cards, use your intuition. Hold the deck in your hands. Look at the artwork. Feel what that deck feels like for you. Now, in the case of some stores, they will have open decks, which means you're allowed to flip through them and truly look at the artwork and decide if you connect with these cards or not. Not all stores do that, but all all decks of cards have some imagery on the back that will give you an idea of the type of artwork that is the inspiration for the author. So I want to show you a little bit of a difference here. So the deck I'm going to work with today is called the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. And here's the Fool from that deck. As you can see, she's this beautiful young person surrounded by red. The reason she's surrounded by red is this deck also plays in with the chakras. I'll get into the chakras a little bit later. So she's covered in red, and she is just starting out on her journey. And you can see the innocence in her face and what surrounds her. And she's bringing her innocence with her. The Fool is not about what we would consider a foolish person. It's not a behavior thing. The Fool is the person who can go out into the world without prejudice, without preconceived ideas of what to expect. So this is the Fool from the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. And next I have the Fool from Ted Andrews' Animal Speak. And here the Fool is represented by a coyote. Now the coyote is a bit of a trickster, but he's very curious. If you watch animals in their natural habitat, the coyote is very curious and will go look forward. They are adventurous and they really they're curious. At the end of the day, coyotes are very curious, but they're very wise. So that is Ted Andrews' interpretation of the Fool. Next, I have from the Pagan tarot deck. And here you see a young girl in a harlequin suit. She's following a butterfly and she's not watching where she's going. And again, that is the interpretation of a person who is willing to go out there and learn and not bring preconceived ideas, leaving the baggage at home. To me, that is what the magic of the Fool is, that they know how to leave their baggage where it belongs, not with them on the new journey. And the last deck I want to show you, or the last Fool I want to show you, this is from Osho. Osho is this amazing Zen leader. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Like, his belief system talks about, if you want to quit smoking, just quit smoking. Don't pick up a sucker to put in your mouth instead of the cigarette. Deal with the emotion and the crutch. For many of us, there's a lot of emotions attached to it. There's a lot of things that are attached to it. So he talks about dealing with the emotion that requires you to reach for a cigarette, as opposed to replacing it. And because when you replace that cigarette with something else, you have not dealt with the emotion. So for him, his deck is wonderfully point blank, no BS, go for it. And here you see this Fool is also in a harlequin suit, very different than the other harlequin, but they both are kind of the same in that. But again, it's represented by a young person who is just following where he wants to go, what is leading him to where he wants to go. I believe he's holding a bouquet of flowers, and he's just walking without consequences. Both the Fool from the Pagan and the Fool in this card look like they're going to just step off the edge and go. And that's basically what the Fool is all about. It's just be courageous and just go. Don't let anything stop you. Just go. That is the way that tarot works. It's totally, again, the artwork. You can get fairies and dragons, or you can get as serious as Osho, or go into goth, or it doesn't really matter. Find a deck of cards that connects to you with your interests, because that way you will pick it up and you will use it, and you will learn to use your intuition more and more. I'm not going to dive into the minor arcana today, but I will let you know a little bit about it. So the normal playing cards that you play euchre or cribbage, or go steal a pack with your little children, those cards are based on the minor arcana. So the minor arcana is divided into 4 suits. Just like your playing cards, you have hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. But when you get into tarot, they are divided into hearts are cups. They deal with our emotions. Then you have diamonds, which are coins, or pentacles, depending on the way the deck is set up. And they represent the work we do and the material gains that we have achieved. Then we get into clubs or wands, which are our creativity. And then finally, we have spades, which are swords, and that is our intellect. So when you're playing cards, actually the very first time I read tarot cards for someone, all I used were playing cards, and it gets really fun and interesting. So as well as the ace to 10 and your court cards, which are your king and your queen, and some decks will have 2 minor cards, like a knight and a page, or a prince and a princess. Some will only have 1, and some will have none. And so it depends on what the author wanted to do with the minor arcana and those minor secrets. The other part of the minor arcana, as well, actually all the tarot cards are numbered. So in the minor arcana, they are numbered from 1 to 10. 1 being the beginning of something, 10 usually the culmination. And if you are into numerology or want to dive deeper into numerology, you can associate those numbers with what the card represents as well. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on intuition with the tarot. I hope that you found it informative and inspires you to go buy your own deck of cards, or dig out that one that you've had hiding in the closet forever because you didn't know what to do with it. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. I am also offering a course, Intuition Through the Tarot, where we will meet once a week and we'll discuss the major arcana. We'll go through them and talk. What do you interpret? How did you interpret? I will probably bring 3 or 4 of my own decks. You're welcome to purchase whatever deck you have, because as I said in the presentation, tarot follows a pattern. So it doesn't matter what your deck is. The fool is the fool is the fool. So if you would like to join me for my Zoom courses, please be in touch and we will connect and get that set up. If you have any questions, I am happy to chat with you. You can find me on Facebook. I look like this, and my name is Anna Pilo, and you can also email me at anna@annapilo.com. Or check out my website and see some of the other fun things I do. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life and listening to me. I can't wait to meet you and chat again. Hi, welcome to a tarot card reading with me, Anna Pilo. Today I've decided to bring along 2 of my favorite decks. The first one I'm going to share with you today is Osho, the Zen Tarot. Now, Osho is my no fluff, no nonsense, just do it, all is good deck. No BS in him. So, and he is this is a traditional tarot card deck. However, Osho himself has changed a lot of the wording. And here we have a celebration. So when I'm shuffling cards, I really like to, if something flies out, it is meant for us to read. So this is a celebration. So, and I always put it back into the deck because if it comes out twice, that's great. So I am celebrating the fact that I am so honored to be a part of the 17 Forest Summit. I've known Stacy for a couple of years on a professional level. I would love to meet her someday. And just, I think she is just so full of joy. Faye, I've only met online a couple of times, but both ladies just really inspire me to be all that I can be. So I am so honored to be your tarot expert in this event. So, I'm going to shuffle, and I lay them down, face down, and I will choose 3 cards to read from. Now, if you're with me in person, you choose the deck. I have quite a variety of them. If we're on Zoom, then you still get to choose the deck of cards, but I obviously will shuffle. Now I'm going to just randomly pull 3 cards out, and then I will read them one at a time, and then the 3 of them together. So the first card I've pulled out is ordinariness. To me, this card represents the ability that we have to just really enjoy the ordinariness of our lives. Not everything has to be fireworks and romance and everything. Just enjoy what you have. Another word for this to me would be gratitude. When we're grateful for what we have in our life, more comes to us. The universe, the law of attraction, God, creator, or whatever title you put onto that greater power, sends us more of what we have and what we appreciate. And you know yourself, if you're down in the dumps and you're having a rough day and that's the energy you put out, more comes to you. But when you flip that switch over to joy and happiness and gratitude, then more gratitude comes toward us. So enjoy the ordinariness of your life, because it's in the small things that you will find joy. To go along with this card, stress. You know what? When you appreciate the ordinariness of your life, the stress just disappears. Stress can be healthy because it motivates us to do some things. Unhealthy stress, that's the one that leads to all kinds of things. But a lot of stress is just in our imagination, in our mind. When we really look at things like, oh my God, I'm running late, adds a level of stress. Oh, I don't know if my guests are going to like what I cooked for dinner. You know, those are little stressors that we just create for ourselves. The big stressors, that's a different story, but also learn to take stress with an ordinariness. If we put these two cards together, if you can put your stress in a spot where it happens on a regular basis, then we can deal with it in a healthy manner. Now, it also, if you have too many plates in the air, like this guy is juggling all of these lit candles, so you want to make sure you grab the right one. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with putting some plates down. Put some of those candles down. You don't have to do everything all the time. Set everything down, pick up one, and deal with it in the moment. And then pick up the next one. When you've done with the first one, pick up the next one. And you'll find that as you go through all those millions of plates that you've been juggling, half of them disappear when you set them down because they're not that important. They don't bring joy. And the third card I've pulled to go with this little reading, or this line of reading, is trust. So trust yourself. Trust that you know how to deal with all the stress that comes out. Trust in what you know, and even what you don't know. Trust your intuition. Our intuition is our connection to the divine. It never lies to us. In his book, Warrior of the Light, Paulo Coelho states that intuition is God's language. It's the way he speaks to us. She, if you want to, whatever word that represents greater than thou, then, oh my God, I can talk. Whatever word you need to use to fill in God, goddess, the universe, creator, divine, spirit, unity, whatever represents whatever's greater than you that you are a part of, put that in there and learn to trust your intuition and yourself. Our intuition will never lie to us. So those three cards together. So if you take ordinariness, stress, and trust, put them all together. Trust that the ordinariness of your life is a lot less stressful than always striving for things that are attainable. Everything that you want in life is attainable. But do you really want to work that hard for some of those things? Do you want to enjoy the process of what you've got and what you have? And that's where ordinariness comes in. When we appreciate what we have, then more comes for us, more comes to us. And that ordinariness is just a wonderful, wonderful way of saying, you know what, I can just relax and chill in my dream home, my dream, whatever your home looks like. So I'm going to pull 3 more cards. First, morality. This is an interesting card. This is in the mind. And if you look closely at this card, this person seems to be trapped. Now, morality is really good. It's a great way to live by rules of morality. Make sure they're your own rules. Make sure that they are things that you are not trapped under someone else's rules. Yes, yes, we all want to live in a peaceful life. No, we don't want to encounter murderers and other things, amoral beings. But morality is your own ethics, right? What works for me does not necessarily work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. I'm a bit of a gypsy, and I know that some people think that that's a racist term, but I'm a nomad. I live in this beautiful space in the summer, and then I head south of the snow for the winter. So that's my morality. I do what keeps me happy, and I invite you to do the things that keep you happy. Now, if you have responsibilities towards small children and a spouse and those other things, then that is a part of your moral code. I am quite fortunate. My children are adults. I have delicious grandchildren, but they don't need me there in their everyday presence. So therefore, I am free to do what keeps me happy. And towards that, I invite you to really look at what makes you happy. There's some things you can't get rid of, obviously. And there's other things, drop them. If they are not bringing you pleasure, drop them. There's nothing immoral about letting go of something that doesn't work for you. And who have we got next to go with that? Because doing everything for everyone is exhausting. And I know I've been there myself. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It is a way of your body and mind and spirit saying, whoa. And, when I let my French come out, whoa, la tabarnak. We don't need to do all of that. Do what needs to be done. Do what you feel needs to be done, and the rest can wait. Delegate. If you're the boss at work, delegate the stuff that brings you stress and give it to someone who enjoys doing that. I am not a detail person. So you can bet your bottom dollar when I work with somebody else, I will find the person who loves detail and I will give them that work. And then in turn, I'm a big picture person. And sometimes detailed people are challenged by the big picture because they only want to deal with one thing at a time and get all those details straight. So assign the stuff that you don't need to do. And that can be as simple as, your 5-year-old can fold the towels. Your 5-year-old can make his own bed. Your 10-year-old is old enough to maybe start cooking dinner. You may not want him to have full range of the kitchen, but delegate the things that don't have to be done this minute by you. You have a family. Your spouse, let them clean the way they clean. Who cares if it's not done to your standard?